Talk about the fucking weird Oscars thing.
Welcome to the Movie Epidemic podcast.
Whoa, are we live?
Yeah, we're live.
Were we live when I was doing Gabs? Of course. Why the fuck would we ever do editing? I want it to end on a cut.
Look, I don't think you guys understand how much work this fucking podcast is, right? You got to watch all these movies and you got to come over and record it. I'm not going to edit it also.
Yeah, come on, guys. That's
raw. This is raw.
Yeah.
This is brutal.
Yeah, and there's absolutely no reason to edit because we get the joke. We fucking land the jokes every time.
Don't worry. On today's pod, we've got some films, Chadley, to talk about, and we're going to get mean.
Yeah,
we're going to get tough.
Yeah.
It's going to be brutal.
Yeah, it's going to be brutal everywhere you don't expect it to be as well. Today is the summer action roundout, and we are talking about 3 big summer action movies that have come out this summer. We're talking about Jurassic World, The Fallen Kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking about The Meg. That's some branded content.
You can do it right into the mic.
Yeah, that's
I'm allowed to scream into the mic, not you.
The Meg is some branded content. We're talking about Mission Impossible Fallout, and of course, we're going to continue on our Lord of the Rings franchise and watch The Hobbit: The Desolation of Smaug.
Smaug?
Yeah, Smaug. But first, I want to talk about some movie news because there's some interesting stuff that's going on in the movie world right now that I want to talk about. Number one, so it looks like we've talked about it a lot at this point, but after James Gunn got fired, it looks like Kevin Feige is like really, really wanting to get him back onto Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3.
It was Bob Iger.
Bob Iger and Alan Thorne from Disney were the ones who were like, this is disgusting. But the problem is that they said that his comments on Twitter were indefensible.
Irredeemable, I believe is the word.
Was it irredeemable?
Irredeemable, yeah.
The problem with that is that, like, if they do decide, okay, maybe we do bring back James Gunn, that means they have to step back. They have to take that back, that it was irredeemable.
Yeah, they're not going to do that.
I don't think they're going to do it. I think Kevin Feige is going to try.
It's definitely Feige.
Feige, sure, whatever. I think Kevin Feige is going to give it his all.
That word's definitely Feige, so I don't know why you keep saying it wrong for the last 1,800 episodes.
But I do think he's going to give it his all to get James Gunn back in there. But you know what? I hope he doesn't. You know why?
Why is that?
Because fuck Disney, dude. Like, let's get James Gunn on something else.
Yeah, he deserves to be over at Blumhouse or something.
Yeah, get him on like Blumhouse.
Get him on one of those new JJ Cloverfield movies.
Yeah, get him on the 4th one, Cloverlords.
Cloverlord's done, dude. It's in the can.
Yeah, I know. It's coming. It's all done. But get him on another franchise. It doesn't even need to be like comic book based, you know, like it could be like I could see him doing like a Jurassic Park movie, like the 6th Jurassic Park movie, and not fucking it up. I could see him doing something like that. I could see him like, here it is. Get James Gunn to fix the Dark Universe. That's it. That's what this dude should be doing.
I don't need this.
You know what? I don't need it either. But if somebody does it right, I'm interested in it. If somebody's gonna make fucking Johnny Depp's Invisible Man and it's gonna be James Gunn, then I'm gonna be there at the theater, obviously, day one.
A1 since day one. What are we talking about today, Chadley, after this movie news?
We already said what we're talking about. We're talking about the Meg.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to either transition you into a movie or a different topic because I don't want to talk about this anymore.
One more thing before we actually head in. There was a big announcement this week that the Academy Awards has announced that they have a brand new category, and it's going to be a big category. It's going to be like one of the last ones of the show, and it's Outstanding Achievement in Popular Cinema, which is a really fancy way of saying Best Blockbuster. Which I thought about it a lot, and at first I was kind of cheesed that this was a category, but then I realized, yeah, it might be a good thing.
No, it's not.
You don't think so?
No,
I think it might be a good thing because a lot of the time, like for instance, Mad Max didn't win Best Picture when it probably should have.
Yes.
Because they couldn't put a blockbuster up there as Best Picture.
They're doing this before they even let their new Academy pick the right movies, right? They've added 900 members to the Academy. Most of them are people of color and women.
Okay.
So let's see, as young people, and that's what we've been asking. It's like, where are the young people voting on this shit? If there is a movie good enough, it should be voted in now that they fixed the percentage of the Academy.
Okay, so but like for instance, I don't think that this limits those movies, this category. I don't think it does.
I don't think it does either, but I don't think there's that many good blockbusters is my whole thing. It's like, there's a reason, like, I don't even think Black Panther deserves to be in the running.
No, not
but that's what this category was made for, so that they can give an Oscar to Black Panther.
Okay. All right. So since we're sitting here, we're talking about this.
It completely undermines the point of the Oscars. And I know people are like, oh, it's a stupid show to pat yourself on the back. It's about the achievement of film.
Yes.
It's about filmmaking.
And I think to a certain degree, even those people who are out there making these less artful films, like these blockbuster films, these that are less artful, I do think that those people do deserve the recognition.
Okay, then they should get it into the actual 10 for Best Picture. That's what I think.
Yeah.
Expand it to 10.
But
they've done 10 before.
Do you also not like the Best Animated Feature category?
It's fine.
I think that's the same concept.
I don't think we need it either. I think. Yeah.
I don't think we need popular cinema.
This is the problem, though. Incredibles 2 could get 3 nominations and Best Animated, Best Popular Film, Best Film.
Oh yeah, that, you know what? You're right. That is weird.
That's too much.
Yeah, you're right. That's too much Incredibles 2. But then again, we sit here saying this while we jerked off Shape of Water for winning fucking 13 Oscars, so it's tough to say.
Yeah, but that's a fucking movie that made $50 million. No one saw it. They should be celebrated.
Nobody saw it, and probably more people should have seen
Here's
it.
the award for Infinity War. You made $1.5 billion. There's your award. What else do you need?
That's the reward. The money is the reward. No, that's a good point, actually. They don't need to be further recognized because the entire country.
This is the same shit I don't like about nerds, where they're like, oh, I like all this popular stuff. Shit's making $1.5 million. Everybody likes it. You're not that special. We talk about it because you fucking people listen to it.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't want to talk about Avengers. You people fucking download it.
Yeah, they want.
I want to talk about Shape of Water.
Yeah, I want to talk about fucking $6 million Florida project.
I would do an entire series on Spike Lee. You people want Avengers. This is why we're starting the Patreon, so I can talk about Spike Lee.
All right, so. Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting. I'm excited. Okay, so given this year, which movies, just based on critical response, which movies do we think are going to be nominated for outstanding achievement in popular cinema? I think probably like Black Panther is the one you said. That for sure.
Probably Infinity War.
I hope it's not Infinity War, but it could be.
Probably that other Disney movie that we reviewed with all the black people in it.
The other Disney movie?
Wrinkle in Time.
No, that won't get nominated.
Sure will. Made $1 billion.
No,
sure will.
But we're not talking about. I don't know if this is exactly about money. But
yes, what would qualify it as a popular movie then? Money, because it's popular.
I think you have to make like over $100,000 to qualify. Like I bet you that's what it is.
And how much do you think Wrinkle in Time made? It made over $100 million.
Yeah, but I also think that they still have to vote on it as a good film, and that movie's not good.
Ready Player One. Fucking Wrinkle in Time, Avengers, Black Panther.
You don't think Fallout?
Maybe Fallout. Yeah, probably Fallout.
Yeah, probably Fallout. We're seeing
5.
But that means that you believe that nothing that is coming out for the rest of the year will be nominated.
What would be nominated? Not Venom. Venom's gonna make $70 million.
Yeah, Wreck-It Ralph maybe.
Maybe.
Maybe Wreck-It Ralph. There's something coming out in December. Aquaman. Fuck it. You know what? Give it to Aquaman. I don't give a shit.
You know what? If
give it to Aquaman.
If this happens and Aquaman is in the running, it better win.
Fucking just give it to Aquaman. Who gives a shit? All right. So, do we want to talk about some film movies today?
Sure.
The filmiest movies of all time. Let's talk about The Meg.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, for those of you who don't know, we did get to go see the early VIP screening. Thank you, Warner Brothers.
God bless you, Warner Brothers.
God bless you, Warner Brothers, for inviting us out to the press screening of The Meg, branded content. So, The Meg is a shark movie, and essentially the plot is so silly.
It's definitely a movie.
And I think today we're gonna be talking a lot about how making a movie really silly can either be really, really good for it, or depending on how your execution is, really, really harmful to the film.
Sure.
So the Meg is really, really silly because the concept is that these aquamarine biologists are going down to the ocean's floor and they accidentally break this layer and they open up this layer and out comes a Megalodon.
Sure, science checks out.
Science checks out.
Mark Ellis.
Mark Ellis, absolutely. Put that on the poster. So they break this barrier on the bottom, and a megalodon, which believed to be extinct, is living below this layer on the ocean floor, trapped there, and megalodon comes out. Actually, two megalodons come out. I don't know why it's called the Meg, because there's two of them.
Yeah.
So these megalodons come out, and then all the while, Jason Statham, who was for some reason hippie or something, or
no, he originally saw the Meg when he was saving people. Oh, you want to do the plot by plot breakdown? Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Starts with the Warner Brothers logo. Second, Jason Statham is in some sort of rescue in a submarine, in a Das Boot, if you will.
In a Das Boot. Yeah.
And as he's saving people, something bites the hull of this thing. Something large, something giant.
Yeah, this is my favorite plot point of this movie because it has nothing to do with anything. Where
absolutely has everything to do with the motivation of the film. I don't know what you're talking about.
No, but I mean like the whole thing where everybody is like, "Yeah, Jason Statham is crazy. There's no giant monster." Then what bit the boat?
Well, so he leaves two of his people, but the doctor's okay, and we will come to him later on this point by point breakdown of this plot, because this is what we're doing now, because that's what you wanted to do. And then it blows up, and then we find him years later in Thailand or somewhere like that, Singapore.
Yeah, it's definitely an Asian island for sure.
All right, and he's just a drunk guy, just chilling out with his regrets.
Hey, you guys want to have a beer?
Yeah, you want to have a beer?
He keeps saying, "You want to have a beer? I'm having a beer. Why don't we just sit down, have a beer?"
Although I don't know why you're doing like an Australian accent, because that's definitely not what he was doing.
He's Australian, isn't he?
No, he's English as fuck.
Is
dude.
he?
He's a brutal Englishman.
We'll sit down. We'll have a beer.
It's closer. It's closer. Still got that Australian lilt to it.
Yeah. I used to be able to do British and not Australian, but now
it's because we do New Zealand accent so much that it's turned your British into an Australian.
Heavy metal. Yeah. So essentially, this group of people gets stuck underneath. Jason Statham goes to save them.
Yeah.
Bada bing, bada boom.
So we have the underwater that consists of a bunch of people, mostly Chinese people, because this movie was sponsored by the Chinese. So like Skyscraper, they integrate these Chinese actors like Lei Bingbing.
Yeah. Lei Bingbing, which by the way is a fucking phenomenal handle.
Yeah, that's a fine handle.
I was thinking about that yesterday.
And then we have Rainn Wilson, of course.
Yeah,
Winston Chow, Ruby Rose, Paige Kennedy, DJ the black guy. A bunch of other people, and they're all working on this thing.
Yeah.
So you can continue from here on the point by point breakdown.
So essentially at this point, this is when the meat of the movie comes, because this movie has a phenomenal 40-minute reveal. Because like for the first 40 minutes, it really is just them doing rescue shit, and you're like, when are we getting to the shark? But then by the time the shark actually fucking rolls up, you're like, oh Jesus. Here's what I love so much though, is that like nobody knows what this monster is. And then like Jason Statham catches like a half-second glance and he's like, that's a megalodon. And it's like, okay, we're just jumping right to that, eh? Just after a half-second glance. So then for the rest of the movie, essentially Rainn Wilson plays this billionaire douchebag asshole guy, and he is fucking awesome.
He's frothing at the mouth to get a Meg. He wants one.
Yeah, he is so good in this movie because his motivation changes all throughout the film. Because at first his motivation is to discover what's underneath. Second motivation is to capture the Meg, and then his third motivation, capture the Meg so that he can, use it for science, make money. Right. And then his third motivation is to kill it to avoid liability lawsuits. And that's great because it actually makes his character a little bit more diverse than your typical billionaire bad guy type character.
Yeah, he's not a swarmy cartoon character like in Rampage.
It's like
he's a real guy. Like he seems like a real guy.
Yeah,
exactly. Which like shockingly, these characters are clearly all there to have a diverse cast, but they all do their own thing, which I like.
Yeah, like it's very weird. Because like most shark movies are just like, we got a shark, what else you want? But like this one is like, we got a shark, but we also have these characters and we're gonna make them like not like 3-dimensional, but like kinda
like they don't try super hard, but like like you do feel for them when they all pass away. So at this point they have Jason Statham. They bring him in because his wife and 2 other crew members, Hero from Hero, and that guy with the big beard.
Hero from Hero.
The guy with the big beard. That's the guy that I would be cast as in this movie. In case you were wondering, you would be cast as Hero. So that would be hard. That would be hard. Big
fat Asian guy. That makes sense.
So they have to bring in Jason Statham because they're like, oh shit, there is something, we got to do a rescue, and the only guy that can do this deep sea rescue is Jason Statham. So they go out, they quickly fly to Taipei or wherever the fuck he is.
All the while they're still underwater.
Like extract him.
Crazy.
And it's like day when they get him, and then they come back and it's like kind of the same day or something. I don't know.
Maybe the next day. I don't know.
Time is very suspicious in this entire film. We'll get to that because I think it takes place over one day.
Super mysterious.
Because you're underwater for a lot of it. And
because when Rainn Wilson goes out to kill the shark, it's night.
Yeah, that's a day.
So then the beach scene is
that would be the next day.
So it would be like 2, maybe 3 days. I'm not sure. It's very mysterious.
But I do like the design. Like I really like the design of the underwater base thing. Like I think that's super cool.
It's very reminiscent of Deep Blue Sea.
Very reminiscent of Deep Blue Sea.
But
modernized Deep Blue Sea. It almost feels like a sequel to Deep Blue Sea.
It almost feels like an amalgamation of.
Is it the ssame guy that wrote them?
I don't think so.
Because I know this guy writes like all these fucking
shark
books. Him and Peter Benchley of Jaws. They both wrote like a dozen of these fucking shark books.
But it does honestly feel like they took Deep Blue Sea and then they took Jaws and they're like, all right, we're just gonna
put a big shark in there. Put a big fucker in there.
We're just gonna push these movies together and make the shark really big. We're just one movie.
Yeah.
One movie. This is what I like to call the third film in the good fucking shark movie trilogy. Jaws, Deep Blue Sea, and now this. And I watch a baker's dozen shark movies per year.
No 47 meters down though. You seem to never want to watch that movie.
Yeah, 47 meters down part 2 is coming out.
Yeah, we know. We all know.
But
so on the point-by-point breakdown, we're at the part where
oh my fucking god, let's just talk about the movie. I regret everything. I regret starting this podcast.
Okay, so let's just jump ahead to they've saved everybody, and now Rainn Wilson is like, oh, don't worry, everything's fine.
Well, there's like the moment where he sort of has like that, probably a PR moment where he's talking about how he came to celebrate with everyone.
Yeah.
And now he has the task to mourn.
Rainn Wilson is shockingly good in this movie.
Like he is really like when I started watching it, I was like, I'm not going to be able to see anything but Dwight. And then like by the end of the movie, I'm like, different guy. That's a completely different guy. That's a different guy.
There's a really good scene right when he's going down for the rescue where he's like shutting down all the power so that he doesn't so he blacks out because he's like trying to get down there as fast as he can. And like you don't really think of like any of like the people at the computer like Ruby Rose and DJ to be any good, but like in this scene they're like actually fairly interesting. Like they're like don't fucking no, obviously don't do that. That's insane. And then there's the other guy, what's his name? Max or Mac.
Mac.
The Cliff Curtis guy.
Yeah. I thought he was great.
Yeah, he was awesome.
He was awesome.
The guy that looks like Taika Waititi.
Yeah, he looks like Taika's dad.
He is from New Zealand. He's Maori, so he is a Taika.
Jason Statham, as far as performance go, Jason Statham, like that's pretty much exactly what you're expecting. It's not bad, but
he's a surly man. He gets tough.
Yeah, it's exactly what he's got a little bit more heart than he does.
He's definitely he's softer around more like a transporter. Jason Statham. When he's like transporting the little girl, because he does have that relationship with Li Bingbing's child.
Yeah, and the Li Bingbing's child character is really the Li Bingbing character. Don't fucking care. That's the character I care the least about. Yeah, that's the character I care the least about. It's just there so that Jason Statham had someone to that wasn't his ex-wife.
Yeah. Although I like Li Bingbing, I think she's good.
I think Li Bingbing is good in the movie.
She's 45 as shit and looks 20.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what happens, you know. But then, okay, look, I will sit here and I will say a lot of for some reason critics don't like this movie, which is absolutely insane to me. But there is one thing I really don't like about this movie.
What's that?
I hate Ruby Rose, dude. She's so fucking bad.
I think she's fine.
I think I don't I really don't. I feel like everything she says is stilted. It feels like she's reading it right off of a fucking teleprompter. Like she's like, "You mean the shark's coming down this way?" And
Scram, you mean leave?
Scram, you mean leave? And it's like, Ruby Rose, just go back to making John Wick movies where you don't fucking talk.
We call her Batwoman now.
I do apologize.
At least that takes her off movies for a while, because as a CW show is going to run like 6 or 7 seasons.
Yeah, and if it's if she's on the CW show, like, we don't watch TV, so we don't got to watch it. So
absolutely right.
We don't got to, and we will not. But yeah, this movie, like, it's very bizarre because, like, there is this thing with the shark going on. And like the shark is the main thing.
And we have in the point by point breakdown, we haven't even got to the sharks yet.
We barely even talked about the shark, but it's the relationship between the characters that really draws you into this movie, and that's why they save all of the shark shit to the end of the movie. Because
it's not exactly the end.
Well, it's like 50% through the movie.
There's this part where they start chasing it, and it's like it feels like the end, like when they capture it the first time.
Yeah.
So let's move to that point in the point by point breakdown.
So at that point, they capture the shark. I don't want to get too deep into like all of the intricacies because this movie just came out on Friday.
I know, but just talk about the movie. But we can't just not finish the point by point breakdown at this point. This is the best review we've ever done, by the way.
It's very intricate, very well played. And so they capture this shark. And then turns out, that's the small shark.
Yeah,
that's the small
there's a scene that I really like. It's when he's taking the picture of like the fat guy, and he's got his head in there, and he takes a picture with the camera phone.
Because you think the shark's gonna come back alive and fucking.
And then like you see like a whole scene is happening, but in the background you see Jason Statham staring at the phone, and they even show him zooming in on the teeth, and he's like, everybody's doing shit. They're all having a great time. They're having a party, and Jason Statham's like, wait a minute. These aren't the teeth. Yeah. These aren't the same teeth marks that were on the building. And then all of a sudden,
woo! Another Megalodon, baby.
Dude, I couldn't stop clapping during this movie. We were in a critic screening too, where no one was having a good time except for us. And we were like hollering, dude. We were like yelling. Yeah. We were getting surly. I
was grinning, and like I was laughing pretty loud every time something wild happened.
Because this movie has no end to the insanity, and I really like that. It's an ode to like B movies, and I truly believe that. Like, it knows that it's a stupid action movie, and it tries to be a stupid action movie.
Of course, because like by the 50% mark, they're like, okay, we got them to like the characters. All right, let's not worry about that for a while. Let's just have this be a fucking shark movie with giant shark shit and like sharks jumping up and biting people. Yeah, and they're throwing fucking bombs at sharks. Like,
well, but that's the thing. Like, I like that it balances out the comedy aspects with it to like the actual dread of undersea and like the underwater. It's mysterious. It's creepy, and they do a good job of balancing that like. That like darkness, you never know where something's coming from. They do it so many times in this. Every time someone's in the water, and like is that buoyancy, dude? That buoyancy on the camera, it creeps me the fuck out.
Well,
dude.
It does like, as far as like cinematography goes, it does seem to flawlessly transition between above water and below water really often, which I think is really, really hard to do.
And one thing that I'm amazed about this movie is that it uses 3D like Piranha 3D.
Yes,
like shit's constantly.
Friday the 13th. Yeah, there's like the scene where like the shark bites that giant ball, and the fucking whatchamacallit, the thing from inside the ball that keeps it together fucking pops out. Like it even makes like it's like a cartoon sound effect. Yeah. And it just flies right at you. I blinked, like I had to jerk back.
Yeah, you traditionally a person that never moves during a movie. Like truly, like I'll watch horror movies with you and I'm like, holy fuck. I'm like moving a lot and you're just like trying not to go into a coma because you don't give a fuck about horror movies apparently.
You know what I found though? Especially this week, is that I found something out about myself, is that if I'm in a theater and I'm watching an action movie, I will start laughing my ass off at stuff that's not funny. It's just like
I noticed
silly
that too.
action. Yeah,
but that is fun though.
Yeah,
especially we'll talk about it during Mission Impossible. But
yeah.
like there is some just horrific dialogue in that movie, and you were laughing your ass off.
I was. Yeah, I was laughing at some of the really bad dialogue, but. No, I think The Meg is like, honestly, it's nearly a perfect summer movie.
Sure, it's got Jason Statham punching sharks, which is insane.
Yeah.
And then we move on the point by point breakdown. Let's just move to the end here. This amazing beach scene. We won't say too much about it, but
incredible.
Like this is like the kind of shark action that I wanted from like The Shallows that it was not bringing me at all.
Yeah,
just
exactly.
like amazing shark shit, and it's gigantic too.
Well, and because there's so much danger in that scene because it's a full beach.
Yeah.
In The Shallows, there's literally one person on the beach. And it's like, well, that's not that interesting.
Not that cool.
It? Oh, and the one person who's on the beach gets away. Oh, that's not that cool.
Get eaten. Get captured.
Yeah, and this one, they're like, we understand that if there's a fucking megalodon at a packed beach, some people gonna get eaten, right? Like,
absolutely.
It's great. But like another thing this movie does too is that I find that a lot of not even just shark movies, but horror movies in general, eventually the characters sort of acclimate themselves to death. And they're like, oh, there goes another one of our friends. Yeah, whatever. And this movie didn't do that at all. Every time somebody died, it hit you. Like, it was very impactful to every character.
But that's because, like, they actually gave a little bit of time to every character. Mm-hmm. Like, especially during, like, the first rescue when they're all around the computer and they're all talking. All of it matters. It matters when characters die because they're all kind of interesting, whether you like Ruby Rose or not. I don't think she dies, actually. She could have died, and that'd be fine.
She's alive at the end of the movie,
yeah.
But I mean, maybe she is.
Wow, what the fuck? The guy that just hates spoilers, even though this is a podcast that only people who watch movies listen to. So
yeah, no, I honestly, if you haven't seen this movie yet, it just came out into theaters.
It's literally the most fun I had in a theater this year, and I've seen Mission Impossible twice now. Yeah, and I had so much. I probably will see this movie again in theaters. That's how much I like.
I would love to see it in theaters, and it's just like it has that summer blockbuster vibe.
Yeah,
that's just,
and that's okay. That's completely fine.
And I feel like it has like the same sort of vibe as like Baywatch, which is a weird comparison to make, but it just feels summery because it's on the water.
Yeah.
There's the beach atmosphere and all that, and this movie does that really
I think
well.
It's the perfect bow to the summer blockbusters, and it knows it's a summer blockbuster. It's not trying to be transcendent like Infinity War.
It's very intentional when this movie was released, because if this movie was released in November, I don't know if I'd like it that much.
Dude, in the dog days of Augie Doggy, that's when you want to see it.
Yeah, that's when you want to see a movie called The Fucking
I truly believe you should go see it in theaters.
I do too. You know what? And I rarely say this, but you should see the 3D if you get a chance.
Yeah, and then don't get me wrong, it's dumb.
It's really stupid.
Fuck.
Yeah.
But like, I just couldn't stop smiling during this movie. So let's give our rating here. And before you give your rating, I want you to remember this is a classic movie that deserves a classic rating. And be tough on it. Be tough.
Pump it up. I don't give a shit. I had so much fun watching this movie. Pretty much every moment is a treat. I give this a 5.
Okay, I'm gonna be surly. I'm gonna be
You're gonna be a little bit more brutal.
Yeah, and I'm gonna give it 5 stars.
Yeah, no shit. It's a 5-star, dude. I remember when we saw this in theaters, you turned to me right after and you're like, oh shit, I didn't realize we were seeing a 7.
I didn't realize we were seeing a 7-star film.
Yeah, because like coming up to it, I was like,
dude, I like this as much as Return of the King. I'm not even joking. Like, I had the greatest time.
No, yeah, I agree. I think The Meg is really, really strong. I think it's not getting its due diligence right now. The critics are being a little bit harsh on it because it's so silly.
It's a stupid shark movie, but that's what it wants to be. It's an ode to shark movies.
I think the fact that it's silly and stupid isn't a negative, and a lot of people are looking at it like that.
It's not like Sharknado where it's trying to be bad. It knows what it is, and it knows it's an action movie.
Yeah, and the shark looks pretty good. Looks pretty good.
Fucking good CG.
Yeah, I think The Meg it's fucking awesome.
All right, we need to move on.
Definitely the best movie we saw this summer, for sure. Speaking of the best movie we saw this summer, let's talk about Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom.
Baby.
Did I say best? I meant worst. Ugh. Easily worst.
Dude, this is like when I watched this movie, this is the exact same reaction I had from watching the first one that you didn't get.
I did not get that. No. And you know what? I even still kind of like the first Jurassic World, but we'll get to that in a little bit. So let's Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom straight out the gates is horrific. it's really, really bad.
Barely even a movie.
Like it feels like
completely honest.
It feels like my big problem is it feels like Colin Trevorrow was like I'm now coming to realize Colin Trevorrow's not a good screenwriter, and that's even present in Jurassic World. But at least in Jurassic World, he's really just like suckling off the teat of the first Jurassic Park and stole a lot of content from that movie.
Well, here's the thing that this is what I'm going to pitch right now.
Yeah.
I think that every Jurassic World or every Jurassic Park sequel is just the first one retooled. They're all built on the exact same DNA. Jurassic World more than the others probably, but they all are built on the exact same DNA to the point where they have Jeff Goldblum in this.
Yeah.
And like,
but don't worry, not really.
But that's not the point. The point is they're trying to build off this DNA of the first superior movie, and they fuck it up 4 times in a row.
Five? Oh no, yeah, now it's 4 times.
Four times in a row. It's really crazy because like they're always like, "Ooh, we need to have children in this for some reason because that's what the first one had." No, you don't.
Yeah.
Why?
Don't make it about kids.
So this one's the worst offender, and I hated Jurassic World because of the kids.
I certainly think this one is the worst of all the Jurassic Park movies.
Dude. Jurassic World or Jurassic Park 3 looks like a fucking Citizen Kane.
So here's the thing: is that the movie is not very interesting, and that's a big problem, especially for a movie that's about an exploding island.
I don't mind the exploding island escape. I think that's all right.
That's okay, but they also fuck with you a little bit, and they leave the Brontosaurus on the island, and I'm like,
I think that's an amazing shot, though. Maybe I actually like.
I think the shot looks great
when
but
it's like, dying in the fire. We're not doing a point-by-point breakdown for this.
Of course not.
That was too aggressive. That was too aggressive.
We don't have time. So like this movie, Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard are going back to the island to do something. They're going back to the island because they want to save the dinosaurs. And Bryce Dallas Howard has like a legitimately good reason to go back because she's trying to preserve them.
Yeah.
And yada yada. And she runs some sort of like nonprofit or something now. But Chris Pratt has no reason.
Yeah.
They're like, what about your Velociraptor? He's like, I'm in. It's like, well, what the fuck? He even at one point was like, let her die on the island. Who gives a shit? And
Dude,
then like the next,
I don't give a shit about any characters in this movie.
I give a shit about one character in this movie, and it's a character that I think they wanted me to give a shit about at first, but then they completely failed to capitalize on it.
Yeah.
And that is, I like the character of Blue. I think that is a fine character.
Sure.
I think the Blue the Raptor is a fine character because Blue is completely innocent.
Yeah.
And that's why Blue is great. Fucking. Well,
no, don't worry about it.
This dude's just screaming over here. I think that Blue is a really great character, and the relationship between Blue and Chris Pratt could be interesting, but Colin Trevorrow's. What's the monkey movie? Planet of the Apes? Yeah. Sort of. I definitely think that you're sort of getting into that territory, and we'll talk about that a little bit later towards the end of the podcast or the end of the review for sure. But I just think like they introduce all of these new fucking characters that have no motherfucking charisma whatsoever. It's absolutely preposterous.
You've got like the evil guy. I don't even know who plays him. And then you got Toby Jones is there.
Yeah, there's like that evil guy who looks like he could be Bobby Cannavale, but it's not.
Oh, get Cannavale!
Yeah, get fucking Cannavale.
So I think some of the worst offenders they're like, the Lauren Lapkus and Jake Johnson guys. They were great in the first one.
So yeah,
let's bring in some new nerds.
Yeah, let's get these boring nerds.
They're really so boring. I don't know their names. I don't know why they're there. They never do anything.
No, they absolutely do nothing. And a lot of the movie is these characters.
Yeah.
Dude, I saw this movie a week and a half ago, and I forget everything about these characters because
I saw it like 3 days ago.
I remember sitting in the theater thinking like these characters are terrible. They are so uninteresting and fucking terrible. But then like even after that, you're like, okay, you got the boring villain who's basically just like rubbing his hands together. He's the cartoon villain.
Yeah,
there's the cartoon villain.
And it does like clearly this is a J.O. Benet movie, and they let him do like the scary mansion shit that he always does.
Yeah, which is crazy.
But why?
Yeah.
It's so confusing.
It's very shoehorned in there to be like, all right, Bayona, do your thing.
We're in a scary mansion and we're going to get Evil Blue. That's another thing I think is dog shit is Evil Blue.
Oh, we're going to be talking about Evil Blue in a little bit because I have a really, really, really big problem with that.
Yeah, are you going to get tough on this movie?
I'm going to get
brutal.
I'm already being tough. I also don't think this movie even looks that good. You know,
not really.
Like some of the cinematography is like it's very Bayona. Like some of the cinematography, it's like it's very grim and dark, and it's
which
like,
I like in the right movie. This isn't the movie for that. Like,
I agree.
All of this mansion stuff makes no sense to me. Like it makes perfect sense in the orphanage when you're in orphanage.
It's also weird to me that in Jurassic World 2, the sequel to Jurassic World, a highly successful film, they're like, how much time we want to spend actually at Jurassic World? And they're like, 8 minutes, 8 minutes screen time. What the fuck? Where do we go from there? I don't know. Put them in a mansion with 3 people.
Yeah, and then they wheel up this other old John Hammond motherfucker.
yeah, this fucking James Cromwell looking motherfucker who's clearly supposed to just be Richard Attenborough. You guys, he's dead. Let it go.
But they call him something else. Like it's not John Hammond.
Yeah, it's not John Hammond, but it's like it's he's
Sir Benjamin Lockwood.
Yeah, it's like he's like John Hammond's like old business partner.
Is that how was he in the first Jurassic World?
John Hammond?
No, not John Hammond.
No, this guy, no. This dude just fucking out of nowhere. They're like, hey, we're that business partner you never heard of.
Is that what he said? Did they say business partner in this?
Yes. Yeah, he did. Okay. Because John Hammond decided to cut his ties with this character supposedly because this character wanted to use the cloning, the DNA
dude.
cloning shit to clone a person. Why?
The most contrived bullshit. Really, dude, this is a movie for crows, dude.
Yeah.
It's full of shiny nickel looking things. Like it's just, this when people walk out of this movie and they liked it, I should be at the end with a fucking bell being like, you crows, you like this because you're crows.
This movie is definitely a movie that anybody who sees 3 films a year will like. Maybe, but even then, maybe.
Dude, fucking Chris Pratt is a charisma vacuum in these movies. He's like, he's not even the worst character in these movies, and he's absolutely intolerable.
I hate him in these movies because like it's so weird going from like Guardians of the Galaxy where he super clearly likes being there to this where he super clearly hates.
He's over it. He's so over. In the first one, he's fine.
Yeah, he's fine in the first one.
This one, he is so over being in it.
Bryce Dallas Howard might as well have not even fucking been in this one. She was just there to have motivation.
Budget Chastain, dude.
Yeah, just a
fucking budget Chastain.
Yeah. Okay, so I want to talk about my biggest problem with it. Now we're going to get into the climax because we're going to spoil this movie because I don't give a fuck. This movie's bad. Okay, so... so fucking BD Wong is like fucking working in an underground mansion lab, and he creates what's called the Indoraptor.
Evil Blue?
Okay, yeah, Evil Blue, sure.
I just call it Evil Blue.
He calls it the Indoraptor, and they're like, what's the Indoraptor made of? And it's like part DNA of a raptor, part DNA of the Indominus Rex, and that's where I gotta fucking stop you for just 1 second there because I'm pretty sure this is a plot hole. All right, I'm pretty sure this is a plot hole because in the first Jurassic World, I know you don't remember it because you're.
No, I remember this.
It's a fever dream. In the first Jurassic World, it was a pretty big plot point that the Indominus Rex already had raptor DNA in it.
Yeah, it was raptor and Tyrannosaurus.
Yes. So what the fuck do you mean you put raptor in the? You already did this. You already had this.
Same thing, but small.
How you get different animal from this? It makes no fucking sense. Oh, dude, this movie is so stupid. It's so stupid.
And he's running around like he's the Babadook.
Yeah, and then he's fucking got these giant claws, and he's
running around on the roofs and shit. And they use the little girl as bait for some reason. It's like, why would the raptor even give a fuck?
It's unacceptable as well. Like it makes me hate Chris Pratt's character because he's using an infant as a toddler as a fucking bait for an Indoraptor. This movie and like the fucking raptor's picking stuff up with its claws all the time.
this movie is like shockingly gory though. Like when they try at one point they try and auction off the Indoraptor, and then who goes into the cage? I forget. He gets eaten though.
Yeah, I don't. It was somebody who was important in the movie. I think it was the Bobby Cannavale-ish guy.
Maybe.
Oh no, it was like
it was the army guy,
military guy.
Yeah, the military man.
God, he did nothing in this
movie.
movie.
I don't know his name for sure.
I have no idea. Hey, is that D'Onofrio? No, I don't care.
Oh no, then who cares?
Who gives a fuck, dude? Oh man, this movie is like it's seriously like Colin Trevorrow, the writer of this screenplay, didn't watch the first Jurassic World movie, which is crazy because he wrote that one also. Oh my god. So that Indoraptor thing is seriously the biggest problem with this movie, and I cannot stop thinking about it because it makes no fucking. If somebody knows the answer, you can put it in the comments if you want. I will promptly ignore it, but
I will definitely block you if you say anything about this fucking movie to me. But that's not even the craziest part, dude. They do the fucking monkey movie thing where they just have them roaming free in the United States now.
Yeah.
If number 3 ain't about smart dinosaurs where Blue's talking to people, don't want to see.
Well, because Blue is Caesar now, right?
Blue is Caesar. Exactly.
Blue is Caesar now. Like there's nothing else you can do now but have Blue as Caesar. Hey, remember that fucking 5th Planet of the Apes movie? The next Jurassic World movie better be a carbon copy of that screenplay.
The next one better be crossover. Do a crossover. Dinosaurs versus monkeys. Monkeys riding dinosaurs like they're horses. Monkeys riding horses.
Yeah, there it is. That's it. That's what has to happen now. Can somebody get Matt Reeves on the phone, please?
Yeah, this movie's dog shit. So
it's really fucking bad.
So let's give it a rating here. But before you rate it, just remember this is a classic movie that deserves a classic rating.
This is 1 star.
So 1 star from you.
It's a 1 star.
All right. So I'm gonna rock this one to sleep. I'm gonna be very gentle with it. I'm gonna be very gentle. 1 star.
Be kind.
1 star.
1 star. This is a skipper. Like honestly, even if you're like, I love Jurassic Park. Like
I love Jurassic Park, but none of the sequels are good.
There are some people who are like, I love Jurassic Park so much that I like all the sequels. And even if you're like that, you will not like this movie. This movie is super bad.
All right.
Oh, also, hey, Jeff Goldblum, you had 5 minutes to spare or what?
Yeah.
Well, you had 5 minutes to spare for
one
this
day
movie?
on set for 1 day.
Maybe not even, like 45 minutes.
Yeah, that makes sense actually.
Much like Ving Rhames, but we'll talk about that a little bit later.
Boy. That's tough for me. That's tough for me to say these things about Ving Rhames. Desolation of Smaug.
All right, so let's talk about The Hobbit, Desolation of Smaug.
Yeah.
So this is the 5th movie in the Lord of the Rings franchise, second in the Hobbit trilogy. And man, I got to tell you, man, this one's perfect.
You like this one?
This movie's perfect.
I don't like it that much.
Really?
Yeah. Look, going into it, this one was my favorite.
Mm-hmm.
Now I think I like the first one more.
Really?
Yeah.
I think this one is so much better.
Okay. Well, here's my problem with it. There's some great set pieces. Barrel race, Battle with Smaug's perfect. But then there's all this orc and necromancer dog shit that is so bizarre and out of place.
Are you talking about the Gandalf fight against Sauron?
Yeah, and I think it's really stupid.
I love it. Like I think it's great.
I think it's completely bizarre.
Well, it's there to essentially loosely tie it to Lord of the Rings, right?
Yeah.
Because it's supposed to be like the events of this film or this trilogy are supposed to influence the events.
Look, I don't need it.
Trilogy.
I don't need it. And I think it's even crazier in the extended version. There's so much of it.
You know,
and the orc infighting stuff. Holy shit, do I not care about the orc stuff?
I will say I opted out of the extended on this
What the fuck?
Yeah, I opted out of the extended on this one.
We were doing extended. That's the whole point of these reviews.
Oh, well, I didn't watch the extended. I watched the regular version.
This is fucking crazy.
Well, here's
the entire point of all of these reviews since Fellowship was to watch the extended cuts.
That might be my bad. But here's why I like this movie more than the first one. because the first one is good and it has a lot of really great set pieces like the troll thing and the goblin thing, but it's based around these 13 dwarves and I don't care about any of them. Whereas this one, they're like, we got to introduce some characters that people give a shit about. So we're gonna give you Luke Evans.
I'll say this though. This is Luke Evans' greatest role.
Dude, Luke Evans is so fucking good in this movie.
He's great.
He's really, really good as the character of Bard. Like, and I think that character is honestly great. I think that character is amazing, and like the sort of dynamic that he has between the dwarves and I'm sorry,
the townsmaster.
The fucking greasy mayor played by Stephen Fry.
Yeah,
perfect.
Yeah, he's fun.
Perfect. They're like, hey, let's give Stephen Fry the greasiest mustache you've ever seen. Perfect. That's exactly what I want.
Mm-hmm.
But then you also have like even like the characters like Thadriel and Evangeline Lilly, whose character I forget her name, and she's great. She's actually really good. In this movie.
She's good in this movie.
And
She's not like how she's going 20% in it. You know?
yeah. She
with
actually
weird teeth.
She clearly gives a shit about this.
Super
movie.
weird teeth. They might be dentures. I don't know. They're really weird looking.
Yeah. So then you have Orlando Bloom, and this is sort of a point of controversy. Yeah,
hate it,
some
dude.
people hate it.
Don't
some people,
need it.
Yeah, I don't think it's necessary. I think that it could have been taken out of the movie. The whole point of him being there is so that Evangeline Lilly had to leave alone.
Yeah,
but it's also there to have Orlando Bloom in the movie.
Yeah. It's there to pull the start, and I like that scene where he's on the barrels having a good time. I think that's fun.
Yeah, and he's jumping on dwarves.
He's jumping on them. It's a great time. It's a great fun time at the theater.
That's confusing to me though, because like he hates the dwarves and then he super loves them.
It's tough. I don't know. I don't like that character. I think you could easily figure out a way where Luke Evans is doing this stuff. Like have him at the place, like exchanging barrels or something.
Yeah.
Like just have him play the Legolas guy. I get like they're trying to do like that dwarf or the elf stuff where he's like with the leader of the wood elves. Yeah,
but that scene's also confusing because like they're escaping from elf prison.
Don't worry, it's explained in the extended where there's like 50 minutes of them talking to the wood elf or Legolas talking to the wood elf chief.
Oh, okay, all right. Maybe I should check out that extended real quick.
God damn it, I'm so fucking pissed right now. You made me watch this 3.5 hour movie and you couldn't even bother.
Is it 3.5 hours?
You couldn't even bother to try it. It's a different movie. It's completely a different movie than the one I saw in theaters.
Oh,
it's way worse. It's really bad. It's like quite bad compared to the theatrical.
The theatrical's good.
I bet the theatrical moves, dude. This one just slows the fuck down constantly.
Well, and you know what? Now I'm really glad I watched the theatrical because it really did. Like it was 2 hours and 40 minutes, and it really used to that screen time. But it's not like the movie is good, and like I really like all the shit at the beginning with like the Forest of Madness. Like that's so much fun.
Oh yeah, the acid trip. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's really great. Yeah, and then all this. I love the scene where Bilbo turns around and Bilbo's standing behind him. I love that. And then there's like the scary spiders, which I really love that scene.
I don't need more spiders. Seen them in Lord of the Rings. Don't need more spiders.
Then you saw one. You saw a one.
Yeah, you see Shelob, the queen of spiders.
Why
do I need more spiders?
Just have them hunting some hobbits and some dwarves. Who gives a shit? Ian McKellen, again, this goes without saying, fucking he's amazing in this movie. I could have used more Radagast though. I don't know. I kind of love that character now.
What about like Bjorn or whatever that bear guy is? You like the bear stuff?
Yeah, sort of. That guy clearly showed up to do the role.
I guarantee there's a lot more in the extended cut because it felt like we were talking to this bear guy for 45 fucking minutes.
No, I do. I like Bjorn. I do like the idea. I feel like they didn't really do anything with it. Though they're like he's a bear that turns into a man, and then he's a bear for one night, then he turns into a man. He's like, I'm a man now. It's like, all right, good to know.
That's our host.
Yeah, yeah, that's the boy.
Fun line though.
Yeah, that's a good line. That is our host.
You do a decent Ian.
Ian. Say Ian. No, I think Ian McKellen is obviously amazing.
Yeah, and I do like this movie, especially once we get to the end. The stuff with Smaug, that's almost on the tier of fucking Gollum, dude.
Yeah,
not quite, but it's up there.
You know what? I'm gonna say something, and you might disagree with me.
Yeah,
you ready? There's a scene in this movie that I like more than the Gollum scene from the last movie, and it's the barrel race. I think the barrel race.
You like the barrel race more, hey?
I fucking love it. I think it's so great.
I've always talked about how good the barrel race is. I think it's
well
fantastic.
choreographed. Yeah, it's really well choreographed. Like the barrel race is amazing. I really, really love it. And then they get to Bardtown, and then the movie becomes less interesting. Yeah. Where they're sort of like, we got to sneak around into the toilets. And it's like, oh, I don't want to watch this at all. And then like they spend all this time sneaking around, and then they're like, welcome boys to Lake Town. And I'm like, oh, okay. Well, do we need to be doing all that sneaking around? Or because they seem pretty happy that you're here.
They don't seem to give a fuck at all.
Yeah. They catch them, and then they're like, they're thieves. And like they're caught literally stealing all of their weapons. And then the mayor is like, welcome boys, come on in. Oh man. And then they go up to the mountain, and that's like, fuck, that's good.
Yeah.
I love the scenes where Bilbo is trying to convince Smaug that he's an admirer. Like it's so funny, and it is so indicative of that character to be like smarmy and
yes, surly.
Yeah, really slimy like that, like trying to get out of being a thief. And I really like that. I also think, and you won't hear me say this too much, I also think Benedict Cumberbatch is real fucking good. That being said, he had to show up to a fucking studio for 15 minutes
and his
collect
fucking voice is all distorted, so you can barely even tell it's him, to be honest.
He showed up for 20 minutes and fucking collected his $500,000 check.
Dude, that fight at the end is so good.
Yeah, where they're pouring the fucking gold on
when
him.
it ends with just him breathing, and then it goes to that fucking cover. Just like that a cappella cover. Like, I'm like, holy fuck, that's a good ending to a movie.
Fucking Bilbo's looking off into the distance, and he's like, what have I done? And it's like,
there's just fire everywhere. Smaug's breathing fire, and it just goes to black, and you're like, holy shit, that's how you end a movie.
That's absolutely how I remember being in the theater and having like the fuck, no, we can't end there. Like that was my reaction. Was like, this movie has to keep going because like it can't end. I can't wait for the rest of the 10 minutes that's left in this movie. I don't want to wait. Yeah. But this movie is unfucking believable. Right. I think it's really great.
This is your favorite?
It's my favorite of the Hobbit trilogy for sure. I think I like Return of the King more, but I am gonna give this one a 5.
All right. So okay. You just went straight into that without me telling you that this is a classic movie that deserves a classic rating.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna retract my rating and then I'll let you.
Yeah, so this is a classic movie that there's a classic rating. What are you going to give this one?
I'm going to give this a 5-star.
Okay, so for me, I'm going to be a little bit mean to it, and I don't like the extended edition really at all. I don't think it's good. I think it's fucking way too long. It's boring. But like the theatrical cut, gave 4-star. For the extended cut, giving it a 3.
All right, fair enough. That makes a lot of sense. But wait, hold on. Do we have to watch the extended of Battle of the Five Armies?
Well, I'm going to because that's what we agreed upon.
because that movie is 220 and already feels like it's 3 hours too long.
Well, if you want to go through this conversation again next episode,
then watch the theatrical. If I want to be respected as a critic,
I'll watch if you want me to care about your opinion, which I think is false because you didn't watch the extended. Yeah, I'm going to be
version. I didn't have the.
I'm going to be real brutal to you if you don't watch it.
I didn't have the extended cut of this movie, but I had the theatrical. So that's where that right, disconnect is.
Okay, main event of the evening.
Main event. It's Mission Impossible. Man, I love watching Tommy work.
Oh, dude, Tom Cruise knows what he's doing.
He's he's really good in this movie.
Yeah, he's super good in this movie.
So this is probably going to be the weirdest movie we talk about this.
Absolutely. It's one of the weirdest movies ever made, in my opinion.
It's really bizarre because it really
universely loved. Everybody loves this movie.
97% on
Everybody's talking about how it's perfectly plotted, which
is wrong, but
fair enough, I guess. But absolutely no one's talking about the cringe-inducing dialogue that's riddled throughout this movie. I barely can listen to them talk. Yeah. Like all of the action set pieces, literally some of the best shit I've ever seen on film.
Yep.
Anytime someone talks, I'm like, is this a real move?
So Mission Impossible Fallout. So this movie picks up exactly where Rogue Nation left off.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And you have Lane. He's in prison. He's in custody.
Solomon Lane.
Yeah, Solomon Lane, who is a great character, by the way. Sean
good.
Harris is really great.
Look, Christopher McQuarrie, say what you will about the man. He's made Jack Reacher in these 2 movies, and that's it. Guy crafts some good villains. Fucking Werner Herzog and Jack Reacher.
Was Werner Herzog in Jack Reacher?
He was the bad guy.
Dude, I've literally never seen Jack Reacher.
I watched it like 2 nights ago because I wanted to know what this Christopher McQuarrie character was all about. And I don't like Jack Reacher that much because it puts Tom Cruise as like an ex-military badass guy, and I don't believe Tom Cruise as a surly, like a shitty shit-heel Marine.
Yeah, me neither.
But I do believe him as this guy that cares about every human life.
So yeah, this movie, Mission Impossible Fallout, does have that theme, which I like. That's like the care for one person could end up saving millions type theme.
Yeah,
which I like. But this movie, I think, has a real failure to balance its characters a little bit. Because yes, Ethan Hunt is the main character of this movie, and he's the main focus, as he should be.
But the reason why the last 2 were incredible is because he actually has a team behind him.
Yeah, and in this one, he has a team. Sometimes, but sometimes it's just him and Cavill walking around, and you're like, Yeah, him and Cavill, and then Rebecca Ferguson shows up twice.
Which I love Ferguson.
Yeah, which I love. I think there was one point in the movie where Rebecca Ferguson rolled up, and I turned to you and I said, "What the fuck?"
I do think it is confusing that his wife from Mission Impossible 3 looks exactly like Rebecca Ferguson.
Okay, was that not Rebecca Ferguson?
No,
because I was fairly sure that Rebecca Ferguson was doubling up.
No, it's his wife from Mission Impossible 3, and I think she's mentioned in Rogue Nation. But in this movie, because they have Rebecca Ferguson in the last one who looks exactly like him, and then they have both characters.
It's so confusing.
It's really confusing. My dad did not know what was going on in this movie.
I'll be honest, until just this second, I thought it was that Rebecca Ferguson played both characters.
Wow.
I thought she played both.
That's obviously insane.
But they look exactly the same.
Yeah.
But fun fact about this movie: about 3 seconds into this movie, I spilled gravy all over myself. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, this dude busts out a poutine, like a full poutine. It was really crazy, actually.
But anyway, so this movie starts off right where the last one ends, which is great. And
we're doing a point by point breakdown. But then, so what was the production company for this one?
I want to say was it Warner?
Skydance.
Oh, it was Skydance.
And guess who else is involved? J.J. Abrams. Because he made 3, so now he gets money.
Yeah, they just give Bad Robot money to make these Mission Impossibles.
And you could tell it was a Bad Robot production because there's more lens screens or lens flares in this than every Star Trek movie.
That
holy fuck, this movie's
a lot.
Bright as fuck. Dude.
Yeah, that Paris scene. Oh boy, I was shielding my eyes, dude. Yeah. So let's talk about the actual characters for a minute here. So we got his team, which is Alec Baldwin, who's bad.
Yeah.
Ving Rhames, who is bad.
Yeah.
But I kind of like him.
But I get why he's in these.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. He's been in it since the beginning.
Yeah.
You know, and like when these movies first started, Ving Rhames was big, so I get it. And you got to keep having him.
Why wouldn't you at that point, right?
Yeah,
he's the last big man. Like Michael Clark Duncan, rest in peace. You got one big man left.
Yeah, we got one Ving left.
Yeah,
he's only got a couple years left in him. Let him.
That is probably true. Yeah,
let him run around on a Mission Impossible. So Ving Rhames, like he's bad at acting, but like at least he's trying.
Yeah,
He's
definitely sincere, even though all of his dialogue is dog shit.
that is the big problem. Is that like most of the dialogue in this movie is quite bad. Some of it's okay. But when he does like that monologue about Ethan Hunt's wife, oh my god!
I literally walked out to take a piss. I took a piss.
Theater. Yeah, because you saw this twice.
I've seen this twice. I couldn't watch it again because that is like that's like Ganto bite to me. Like I will never watch that scene again.
Yeah,
I will fast forward through that scene every single time I watch the movie.
But here's why this movie is so weird. Because every moment of the movie is either the most 5-star thing you've ever seen or the most half-star thing you've ever seen.
Because like I don't get like people are like, wow, this is a absolute like clinic in how to write a plot.
I think that it is for the first like 60% of the movie.
Look, I love all of the misdirects, but after a while, you're like, okay.
It's as far as espionage movies go, it's the least subtle espionage film I think I've ever seen. It took me like 3 seconds into the movie before I was like, Henry Cavill's the bad guy.
No shit.
Yeah. It took,
and then he slips into an Irish accent for some reason when he's the bad guy.
Yeah, he's pulling a fucking Sam Worthington, just slipping around his accents.
But I think it's because anytime that he's the known bad guy, he does do an Irish accent.
Yeah,
which I think is weird. But also okay. Okay, so this movie starts out with
You're from Kentucky. Why are you speaking like that?
Henry Cavill, he's British.
No, I know he is. I'm talking about the character.
Okay, but like, so this movie starts out. We're gonna do the point by point breakdown really quick.
Yeah.
So it starts out. He gets the message, and so this is like takes 25 minutes, by the way, to get to the opening crawl.
Which I love, by the way.
He gets the mission where they're like, these are the apostles, and you have 5 seconds to accept. And it's like all about apostles and getting uranium. And you're like, okay, this is the syndicate. These are gonna be the bad guys. Okay, so you keep going, and like he goes through the plutonium stuff. He loses it, and then they have maybe my favorite scene in the movie where they have the doctor, and he's like, they're playing good cop, bad cop with Ving Rhames and Tom Cruise, and he's like, no, there's nothing we can do. And then the Ving Rhames like, wait, we can read your manifesto online, and fucking Wolf Blitzer on CNN is on the TV, and they're like, okay, we'll read the manifesto, and he's like, oh, not gonna, because like that is crazy, like that how they set up that scene to make it look like the atomic bombs went off. In like Rome and like the Vatican.
That's probably like that's what I mean by like the first 60% of this movie is like, God damn, this is fucking good, and then there's a huge disconnect.
Yeah, you're getting in the way of my point by point breakdown, but yeah, fair enough.
My apologies.
So then they bust down the walls like they're on a movie set, and Wolf Blitzer, who is in this movie for some reason, takes off the mask, and it's fucking Simon Pegg Benji. And you're like, it gets even crazier from there, because then Henry Cavill is immediately introduced, and they do the Halo jump. Now, I want to talk specifically about the Halo jump, because they literally filmed this, a 25,000 foot fucking jump out of a hell. Yeah,
I've seen behind the footage. There was like a guy also jumping who had like cameras on his head. There was like 4 of them. And actually, no, there was just one, because here's what's impressive about this scene. It's one shot.
Yes.
But here's what's not
super
impressive.
Crazy.
Yeah. But you can tell them what's not impressive about this scene.
Oh, you CG'd in a big storm. So to me, that's
doesn't even do anything.
Immediately on it. No, it hits him with lightning.
Yeah, but what does that do?
It takes the fucking
the
oxygen container.
Yeah, but what does that do? Like, let's be honest, he's fine when he lands.
Yeah, but that's the joke.
Yeah.
But then like also and he's falling, like he truly is falling. But they CG in fucking Paris.
Yeah.
Like, because they did it in a field. I've seen the behind the scene. Because you can't do that. Like,
above Paris.
I mean, you could do it above Paris. That's the point. It's a military drop. But they didn't, because it's movie. And like, this is what Tom Cruise constantly is talking about how he did his own stunts and how people know when you're faking it. Okay, but you also didn't fly over a fucking car on your motorcycle. Like, even if you drove it through traffic, there's still so much CG. There's still so much fake shit. But it's still a movie. You could put a black guy in there jumping off the plane, and it wouldn't matter, because it's movie.
Well, and the thing is like, because they CG'd in the clouds and because they CG'd in Paris.
Look, it's still
just do it on the green screen.
Still super crazy that he did it. I'm not discounting that at all. But when you actually see it as a movie, I don't care that much.
Yeah. Well, because the crazy thing is that there's dialogue in that scene.
Yeah.
There's dialogue and there's very specific choreography.
Yeah.
And that's why it's crazy.
They did do it once.
Yeah.
And that's crazy that they got it right, where he flies over and like hits them and shit. And that they actually did that.
Yeah.
Really crazy. Henry Cavill, of course, didn't do it. So why does Tom Cruise? You don't see his face.
Yeah, he's wearing a fucking helmet. Tom Cruise, but also Tom Cruise also learned how to fucking fly a helicopter for the final scene,
which is also super crazy. But there's so much CG in that also.
Yeah, but so why'd you do it?
I don't know. It's like it's like for the scenes where he's flying the helicopter over the lake and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. But also, if you green screen that, it wouldn't even look that much different. Green screen's good now.
Yeah. Here's my thing. All right, is that like about 60? Like this movie is fucking. It's so good. It's
right,
so
well,
good.
We're doing
and
the point by point breakdown.
And the Paris stuff. Like when they get to Paris and there's the
well,
whole
that's where we're
chase.
at right now. Yeah. That's where we're at. After the Halo jump, we're at Paris at this meeting where he has to meet what's that chick's name that plays the White Widow? Yeah, she's good though. I like her.
Yeah. I don't know the actress.
But yeah, that's where the craziest scene in the movie is, in my opinion, that where they have that fight scene in the washroom, because they're at this giant party.
Yeah.
Where everybody's drinking and doing X and shit. And there's nobody coming into the bathroom.
But somebody does come into the bathroom.
But so rarely. That place would be full if it like I've been to bar shows with 25 people where I can't get into the washroom. Like, do you understand how many people were there? It's like super crazy.
Hey, do people in Paris not take pisses or what?
I do like that. Like that scene's so much fun because fucking John Lark is just beating the shit out of everybody.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he just keeps punching people in the throat.
Yeah, he punches Henry Cavill in the throat like 4 times.
Vanessa Kirby,
yes, and she's great.
Yeah, she's really good. I like her character a lot. She's fun.
But then like the movie takes like I would say after that, like that's the best shit in the entire movie. Like the Paris stuff is like if it was just that Paris scene, it would be a 5.
Yeah, so then they have to break out Solomon Kane because at this point Tom Cruise has
and this is the shit I'm talking about. This is the shit I really like.
Yeah, okay, let's go through it quickly. Yeah. Then. So he assumes the identity of John Lark, the guy that was supposed to meet the White Widow to do this exchange for the plutonium, and for payment he has to break out Solomon Lane, the guy that he spent the entire last movie putting into prison, and I think that's so good. That's like so good.
That is a perfect way to raise the stakes. Because if he doesn't do that, then the plutonium will go into the wrong hands. They'll fucking kill billions, you know. Mm-hmm. Whereas in this instance, he now has to let this guy go. That's so crazy.
Sort of.
Yeah.
But it's impossible mission for us. So, there's going to be lots of twists and turns. And those are some of the best turns is when he's like, what the fuck is he doing? He's just doing shit. And like they never clue you into what's going to happen until the last second. And I do like that about this movie, even though a lot of times it's very obvious what's going to happen, especially once they actually get Solomon Kane and after all those intense action scenes. And then they bring him in with Alec Baldwin, and they do that interrogation scene where they're like, "Oh, Ethan Hunt's been John Lark the entire time," and then they go through that, and
that's a whole switcheroo.
They do that whole switcheroo fucking thing.
That scene doesn't really make sense to me because I want to know what clued. They never really explain what clued Ethan Hunt into what that the fucking other guy was John Lark.
They do actually.
Do they?
It's very subtle.
Can you hit me with it? I must have missed it. I've only seen the movie once.
So this is the main thing I noticed this time that I didn't notice the first time. When they fight John Lark, the Asian guy, in the bathroom scene, and then he grabs the phone out of his pocket, it's all fucked up and broken.
Yeah, and then when he gives it to the lady later, it's not fucked up.
It's not the same phone.
I noticed that, but how did Tom Cruise clue into it? This is what I'm saying. Like, how did Tom Cruise figure out?
Because Tom Cruise is the one who took the phone out, I think.
Yeah, he was.
So someone gave a phone to the CIA. And
I see.
It's like, Walker gave the phone to the CIA, and then they probably
phone.
Yeah, and then the CIA director, what's her name? Bassett.
Sloan.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, what's that? Angela Bassett?
Yeah, Angela Bassett.
Yeah. Who's terrible in this, by the way. She's really fucking
horrific in this movie. really terrible. And then she probably gave it to fucking Alec Baldwin, and Alec Baldwin figured out the plan.
Yeah, but like, gotta, look, I understand this is the least subtle movie of all time, but you gotta say that sometimes,
No, you don't. I don't think you do. I figured it out.
Yeah. I mean, I guess. Yeah, I guess. And it just makes for a lot of inferring. Which in a movie like this, I don't know if you should. I think inferring is fine in film, but I think in a movie like this,
not in this stupid as fuck action movie.
Yeah, this stupid as fuck action movie. And by the way, every second that something was happening on screen that was action related, ear to ear grin.
Impossibly great.
Yeah, impossibly great. I'm laughing my ass off.
Tom Cruise getting his running minutes up. Holy fuck, shit. He runs a lot in this movie.
He must double his total running minutes in this movie.
Dude, he's running for a full 20 minutes of screen time, probably.
Crazy.
That scene where Benji's like, oh, I meant left, had the thing backwards. And he's like, oh, had it 3D. Dude's running for 20 minutes straight in this movie. That's
my favorite scene in the movie where he's fucking straight up, hand flat sprinting, dude.
Yeah.
Tom Cruise is in great shape, man. Here's the thing that I find weird though. How come all these beautiful 30-year-old women want to fuck 65 as fuck Tom Cruise?
Because he's the man, dude.
He's the man. I guess that's right, but he's 65 at this point. Real old.
So at that point, you're like, well, how much more of this movie could there be? Because he's already turned. Don't worry, there's another 40 minutes where they go to Kashmir.
Yeah, and then there's that big action scene in a medic camp.
Yeah.
And that sounds like it would be a really weird and crazy place to have a fucking climax, but it sort of works.
But they do that. They do the Phantom Menace thing where they switch between the two actions at the climax.
Yeah, it's between the Solomon Lane fighting
Benji. The bomb. Yeah, that scene is crazy, by the way, where he hangs Benji. Yeah, dude, it makes me uncomfortable. It makes me super uncomfortable.
When I was watching it, I was looking around. I was like, oh my god, I don't know if I can be here for this. It's kind of fucked up. Am I allowed to watch this?
It's super fucked up.
Oh man, but I do feel that as soon as you find out that fucking Henry Cavill is the bad guy, there's this disconnect in this movie.
It does kind of deflate the movie, in my opinion, because I don't, as much as I like the action sequence and them de-arming the bombs at the end, we spent so much time with Cavill at this point.
Yeah, we spent so much time with Cavill, and I think the problem is that they spend so much of this movie being there's these 13 people, we don't know their names or anything about them. Here's
the apostles.
The apostles. And then they do nothing with that.
They never even mention them again.
Yeah, then there's even the part where Solomon Lane is called the apostles, and Henry Cavill's I don't know who they are.
No, that was Benji.
Was it? Oh yeah, you're right. It was Benji. He's call the apostles. He's I don't know who they are. I don't know who they are. Who the fuck are they? I thought they worked for you.
And there's that, maybe one of the craziest scenes in the movie is when he's chasing him and he goes through that church during the funeral and stuff. Yeah. And he's like, who's chasing you? He's like, I don't know, the apostles, CIA, who cares?
Yeah,
I care.
Yeah.
Because if it's the apostles, then it matters.
It could be fucking anybody at this point. And so and I think a lot of that is that they're doing the whole James Bond thing where they're we gotta set up this whole apostle thing but you already did that with Syndicate.
That was what Syndicate was.
You already did that with Syndicate. So just do that. It's insane. Fucking insane.
Yeah. Okay. So on the point by point breakdown, we're at the helicopter chase, which it makes almost no sense completely.
Yeah.
He gets on another helicopter and he has to chase Cavill, who's on the other helicopter.
He's never flown a helicopter before.
Never flown a helicopter. He's like, ooh. There's even a scene where he's like, ooh, what's this do?
Yeah. But then as soon as all the error messages comes up, he's like, I know how to read all these.
Yeah, and then you get down to this final fight where Cavill's all fucked up. He looks like Two-Face, which I love, by the way. I think that's great.
And I was actually kind of hoping he would live because I'm like, that would be a great villain.
Good bad guy for another one.
Yeah, a fucking scary looking half burnt bad guy.
But no, they toss a fucking heavy spike directly into his forehead, which I liked. Fun.
Yeah, I don't know, this movie, every second that there's action, it's so much fun.
Okay, let's talk about this is the end of the movie, so we can talk about the dialogue now, which is almost horrific in every time someone opens their mouth.
Yeah, except, I think Tom Cruise's dialogue is fine, but it might be...
there's that scene where he's like, I've killed women and children. I'm mean.
Oh, yeah.
I'm rough.
Yeah, I'm brutal. There's also a scene where, this is probably one of the worst dialogue ever, is when Henry Cavill gets away and Ving Rhames runs up and he's like, I put a tracker on him. He is running away. You got to catch him. And I'm like, holy shit. That's so rough,
it was reported that this movie started filming with 75% of a script.
Makes sense.
Which makes
a lot of sense.
Much sense. Yeah. Because there is that 15% of the movie where you're like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah. Yeah, because it's I am either grinning ear to ear or straight up frowning watching this movie. There's no in between. But the stuff that I'm grinning ear to ear is some of the best shit, like the motorcycle chase.
Yeah, that's really fun. That's a lot of fun.
That might hit my top 5 scenes of the year.
Scenes of the year?
That might hit scenes of the year. Yeah. I think that it's good, and I love.
But it's as good as all the other ones.
Yeah, I think Rogue Nation might be a little better. Than
Rogue Nation probably.
Rogue Nation makes a bit more sense than this one.
Yeah,
because
that's the thing about this movie is it doesn't not make sense. It's the most simple plot of all time.
Yeah,
it's just like not constructed that well.
I think my biggest problem is that they basically remake the Syndicate and then just don't call it the Syndicate. It's like, what's the point?
Yeah. No opera house.
No opera house. Yeah.
Give me an opera house.
Yeah, give me a fucking opera house. Remember that opera house scene from fucking Quantum of Solace? Give me that.
Well, I was thinking of the one in Rogue Nation, but yeah.
Yeah, but give me that one from Quantum. You know what this movie is? This movie is the first scene from Quantum of Solace on repeat. It's just that scene on repeat for 2.5 hours. And it's not like I don't like it.
Yeah.
It just, I wish there was something more. And I wish that they'd taken, you know what? Like, you guys, there is so much that came out in the summer. This was a really bad time to put this movie out. Wait till November. Fucking nothing's coming out. Rework this movie a little bit. Do 2.5 weeks of reshoots. It's not that big of a deal to do.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, it's. I just think that there could have been. I feel like this could have been more coherent, and I do like it. Like, don't get me wrong.
It's great. It is great.
I think it's great. I do like it, but I don't like it as much as I thought I would, especially given the critical response to this movie.
No, this is universally loved compared to the Meg, which is nobody likes it at all.
Which nobody likes.
I like the Meg a lot more than I've seen this movie before and after the Meg, and I'm craving seeing the Meg again.
I can't stop thinking about the Meg. And you know what? Maybe we are insane. Maybe we have really crazy opinions. I'm not sure.
No, I don't.
Here's the thing: is that you and I both came to this exact same conclusion separately.
Yeah.
So I can't be that crazy. It cannot be that crazy.
What? About what? The Meg or this?
Both. We both came to the same conclusions on these movies separately, so we can't be that crazy. Or maybe we're just bad at making or reviewing film. I don't know.
No, this is the greatest episode of all time. We were tough on these films. We were brutal on these films.
So before you rate Mission Impossible Fallout, just remember, this is a classic movie that deserves a classic rating.
Yes, I'm gonna be super tough on this movie. I'm gonna be mean,
surly.
I'm gonna be dirty. I'm gonna give this one 4 stars.
And you know that's a little bit high for me. After some consideration, I've decided I'm gonna give this guy a 3.
Okay.
I think it's perfectly fine. It's just that dialogue is so bad. I was like, you were there. You were in the theater. I was laughing my ass off at some of this horrific dialogue, dude. It's really
I've seen it twice, so I've seen the dialogue twice.
that Bing Rames scene with where he's talking about Ethan Hunt's wife.
I literally can't watch it.
My fucking eyes were rolling back into my skull.
I knew I had to piss at that moment, and I'm like, I can't watch it again.
You're like, this is perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you, body, for saving me from this.
Yeah. Yeah. And then I took a little extra time in the washroom because I'm like, I need this to be over when I get in there.
Yeah. So yeah, that's pretty much everything. Oh, let's do some quick trailer trash.
Okay, we're at 1:15.
So. Holy fucking shit! Maybe not. No. When we went to see the Meg, we got to see a trailer for the new Godzilla movie, King of Monsters.
Oh yeah,
which came out a few weeks ago at Comic-Con, but we never talked about it. But I just want to say something straight to the audience. I'm gonna look right into the camera when I say this. I don't understand why people don't think this looks good.
It looks like a Godzilla movie.
It looks like fucking Godzilla.
You know what wasn't a Godzilla movie? Godzilla.
Yeah. It was that was a disaster movie. Yeah. Which is like, I get it. It's Godzilla. Make it a disaster movie. But like, you also have to have Godzilla in it. I think when that movie first came out, I wrote my review of it and I was really mean to it.
Were you surly?
I was really
Were you a little dirty to it?
Because I do not like that movie. But like, if you go through it point by point, it's a 2.5 hour movie with like 12 minutes of Godzilla screen time.
Yeah.
And this movie looks like, look, you see Godzilla in the trailer, which is more than I can say about that Gareth Edwards one. But this one, it's gonna have like in the trailer, it's like there's Godzilla, and then oh man, when they showed
also Mothra.
Yeah, when they showed Mothra, dude, I was coming, dude.
But also King Ghidorah.
Yeah, King Ghidorah, and there was another one too there.
Maybe.
But King Ghidorah when he rolled up,
dude, this is Attack of the All Monsters All Out Attack.
Yeah, this is Destroy All Monsters.
Destroy All Monsters All Out Attack. That's
give me that with a budget, because Destroy All Monsters is bad because the budget was like $8.
Well, I mean, a lot of the Japanese ones are
really bad.
They're not that good.
$8 budget.
Yeah, I mean, that's part of the charm. Though.
It's crazy that they're making so much money and not increasing the budget.
Toho, man, they don't really make movies anymore. So like when they do make one,
they're anime. They're anime Godzilla films.
Oh yeah, those are fucking horrific. Some of the worst movies I've seen this year.
I don't watch anime. I won't watch anime. That's why I won't watch Alita Battle Angel. No,
you are watching that though. But the Godzilla movies are more like 2.5D. They've got that weird like Afro Samurai video game.
Yeah, sort of
cell
like
shaded
Batman Ninja.
Batman Ninja. Yeah, it's got that same like 2.5 anime.
Yeah. So next week on the podcast,
holy shit,
you guys, we did the summer roundup, so that means like all the big blockbusters that are going to be nominated for Academy Awards this year have been talked about now. Now we got to sort of fill in the blanks. We've had a couple of months where all we did was watch blockbusters, and all the while, all this other shit is coming out, including so many Nick Cage movies we missed, Dude, we have to do 2 Nick Cage episodes. We're not going to do them back to back because that would hurt.
No, we'll do one in like December.
Yeah, we'll do another one a few months down the road.
So for our Augie Doggy episode, we're going to do 211.
211.
We're going to do Mom and Dad. We're going to do Inconceivable. And then we'll talk about The Hobbit.
We'll talk
part
about
3 also.
Yeah, and then once that's done, we can jump into Spookytober.
We'll get into Spookytober, but we've got some movies to bang out first. We got Tully, Billionaire Boys Club, Action Point, Tag.
Yeah, there's a lot of shit. God's Not Dead Part 3, which we are watching.
Okay, God's Not Dead Part 3.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna make you watch that for sure.
Upgrade will eventually come out.
I've heard that a pastor punches a guy in the face in it, and I'm like, I have to see that.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Just fucking cranks him in the dome.
You can follow me on Twitter at LastCoolDude.
Oh, we forgot to do our Twitters at the beginning. Oh, now nobody's gonna follow us. You can follow me on Twitter at Chadley the Movie. Son of a bitch. You can tune in next Sunday for that new episode. It's gonna be a lot of fun.